Hello, and welcome back to the Zero Strategy Podcast, episode 20. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here with us today. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, as we always do, we go round. I'm put off by the fact that there was no joke against me this week. They're all pretending to be muted. Okay, except I know. All right, I'm joined today by my co-hosts, the Cyber Project. Okay, there it is. There it is. I'm always used to it at the very start. I'm joined by the Cyber Project. I'm joined by Just Grog. We have Sir Humps.
Hello.
And we have the Mighty Kibbles. So, as we always do, we start off the week by going around everybody and just catching up, finding out what we've been up to. I just want to say briefly as well, if you are watching live on Twitch and you want to ask us questions, please feel free to do so. If we have time, we'll get to them, but just make sure to at one of us or at the podcast so we can see it in chat, and we will try and answer any questions. So, Cyber, how has your week been? What have you been up to?
I'm now back at work, and it sucks. I've never
feeling.
realized how much I hate my job. But it's great working from home because I can like watch YouTube and pretend to work. It's one of the best things you will ever do. Apart from that, I've been playing Tarkov, getting my ass whooped, and I strangely like it. You know, somebody like
We know. We know.
I put it on Twitter and somebody called me a masochist, and I was just like, I'm kind of hurt by that. Like, I don't know how to take that comment.
I'm kind of
If you've
hurt by that, but do it again.
Like, if you've never played it, I seriously suggest like watching some streams because it's one of the most challenging games I think of our generation. One of the things it being online and you actually lose your loot. Like if you go in and you die, 100% everything is gone, and it is so frustrating. But at the same time, the yearning to actually get better at that game. Oh,
I heard you
Some-
urinating.
don't make me make penis jokes about you, okay? I'm restraining. You know, there's a lot of vasectomy jokes that I could be making.
We are a minute into the podcast.
Apart from that, that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, Tarkov always just looked a little too hardcore for me. It scared me. Like, you ever played DayZ?
Mm-hmm.
It just looked like
It's very
DayZ.
similar.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Took half a decade to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, it's interesting because, like, given the aesthetics of it, you probably wouldn't think to make the correlation, but to me, I think of like a roguelike. Like I think of like an RPG roguelike, where basically it's that, but with a milsim like reality-driven skin on top. But I mean, it isn't really any different than like say any other roguelike where you have like inventory management and like your shit's gone when it's gone. You know, I mean, you could be playing Dead Cell or Tarkov or Enter the Gungeon, and it's like you're basically still playing the same kind of game where
Yep.
you're upgrading, you're getting better loot, you're trying to figure out how to survive, and then if you lose it all, you're back to the beginning. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a hoarder's wet dream.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get good, Cyber, I'm
Until
going to
it's
need
a
you to teach me.
nightmare. I'm getting there. The thing is, like, communication's key because you have no like nameplates or anything like that. So
Yeah.
your teammate will come around the corner and it's like, shit, is that him? Am I gonna shoot him? Like TKing in that game is so fucking easy. The amount of times where like I've been getting taught by people and I've like popped them once in the chest, but because I'm using a shitty weapon, it doesn't really do much, and they're just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Scared me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go this way with my shitty gun.
It looks fun. Grog, what have you been up to?
Not much. Yeah, this week we are back in the house. Construction at the home is kind of sort of abated. But we have AC now, so I should be able to get back to streaming. Things have just been kind of wild lately, but I'm hoping in the next week or two we'll slowly start getting back in the groove of what we have been over the last couple months. So I'm looking forward to that.
Heck yeah. Humps, what about yourself?
Not a whole lot. Just hanging out, playing some Destiny, some Warzone, up in that TikTok game. You know what I'm saying? I'm hippie with the clapping kids and the flapping vids.
Just when it's about to be
And-
deleted.
You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. I'm starting this new documentary. You know what I mean? I'm documenting the whole vasectomy journey I'm on.
Can you have like an entire YouTube series and just call it Snip Snap? Like, please, just
Oh.
Snip Snap. That's
Think
it.
of the content. It's amazing.
People, and the number one message would be like, "Why is snapping involved?" I hope
ask
there's no
Michael.
snapping.
Comments.
Ask
I hope
Michael
there's no
Scott,
snapping.
okay?
Awesome. And Kibbles, what have you been up to?
Like always, a lot of Warzone and also some Spider-Man, which is really, really good.
Yeah,
It's
that
so
game's
good.
great.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's
Logsectomy.
kinda
Can you?
it.
I know I saw that. I like that.
Sorry to interrupt, but that's amazing. Have you still not finished Spider-Verse yet?
What?
Like the Spider-Man game that you're playing? Because you've been playing that
It's
for
not
what, like
called
4 weeks?
Spider-Verse. That's
What?
the movie that they came out with.
What?
Which
I'm
is great.
so tired. Like,
Cringe.
just
Fucking
leave me alone,
poser.
okay?
Do,
Uh,
do
no,
you
I
even
haven't
marvel?
Into
I've
the
been going through
Spider-Verse.
to 100%, so I spent 6 hours one day just doing unlockable things.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I just played the main story of that game and didn't really go back to it, but I had a blast with it. Really fun.
It's fun.
Are you okay, Kibbles? You're just, it's fun.
All right, well, yeah, so we have a couple topics for today that I think could be interesting. That's something that I'm personally interested to get your guys' thoughts on as well. So the I want to set the sort of the umbrella of like setting goals. That's kind of what I want to go through. So as a streamer or a content creator, you tend to see a lot of people, celebrating milestones or they set goals for their streams, whether that's yearly, monthly, weekly, or every stream. And I just kind of want to get a little bit of a discussion going around all that and how you do setting goals, what you do when you achieve those goals, and all those kinds of things. So does anyone want to jump in and tell me about like maybe a goal that they set on their stream? And that could be one that you've
$200 in donations every stream. I've been exceeding.
like, it can be one that you've talked about openly, maybe one that you've said with your community, like here's a goal, or maybe just a personal goal that you have that you maybe weren't like advertising. Kind of what sort of goals have you guys got?
I mean, not to put him on the spot, but Kibbles, you surpassed a goal without even realizing it on your stream recently.
Yeah.
Faggrog, you done the same thing.
Did I?
Yeah, with
What
your
did I
sub
do?
goal. I was like, hey, you made your sub goal, and you were like, did I? Oh, yeah.
It'd been like a month. When one of the people in chat, Wolfie, is like, "Hey, at 700 followers, you should play this game Soma because I am absolutely terrified of water, and it's a like underwater horror game."
I know the game. Yeah.
So like, I was playing Spyro and almost
Mm-mm.
puked in the underwater level. So
God.
that didn't. It was fine, and then I looked out and saw we were in the middle of the ocean. I was like, "Ugh." But yeah, I was just sitting there and I was like, okay, yeah, so at 700 followers, we'll do this, I guess. I don't know when that's going to happen. And I was looking the next day, I was like, I'm at 757. How long have I been here?
That's awesome.
Goddamn.
So
Playing
Subnautica
that
at
on
1,000?
Friday. Well, I'm playing like the scarier one first, right? I would think. Wouldn't this be the scarier one? I guess since you're like going through the open ocean in Subnautica, that might be more awful.
I think it just
You've
depends how much
technically
you
got a
hate.
mask.
Sure. At
There-
1,000.
There's a really good game, but I wouldn't want it to upset you. I'd want you to enjoy it. But Abzu was really good. Yeah, if you know the game Journey, it played a bit like Journey, where it was like this kind of like really immersive experience more than like a difficult game. But it was super, super good. It's all underwater though.
But see, so
The dry
that's
heave.
interesting. So that was a goal that was set by your community, basically, right? Somebody in your chat
Yeah.
that set that goal. Which I've seen before. Obviously that's like a known thing on in content creation. People do like face reveal at X amount of followers or whatever, right?
I don't think they'll go for that with us.
Does anyone have any other like sort of? Well, let's start with like short-term goals. What kind of short-term goals do people normally set, or do you guys have anything like that?
I want to unlock like the next emote slot. So I've got like a little bar that says next emote slot,
Okay.
like X amount of subscribers. It's more, I like doing community driven goals. So it's like followers building like the community up and then trying to unlock something for the community. You see other streamers doing like pay my rent. It's gonna be like $1,200 this month, and I've got nothing against it, but it's just like it's not for me.
I get that. I get that. So your sub goal, obviously, it's a that's like for an emo slot, so it kind of is something to give back to the community, and actually having a graphic on the screen. You know, obviously, it shows anybody watching can see that quite easily, and I guess it kind of builds hype around the goal. You know, you achieve that goal, and it's exciting for everybody, and you get a new emote and everything like that.
Yep.
See, I think that's a good goal. What about like follower goals? Like anybody? Why don't we go around it like one by one? Okay. So we got
Actually,
yours.
let me like kind of direct the question a little
Sure.
for me specifically. Because me personally, I don't have any set goals. Like I don't have a follower goal. I don't have a sub goal. I don't really have any of that. Not for any like real reason. I think at first I wasn't in the right kind of mindset to set a goal. And by mindset, I mean like I didn't see the point. I thought it kind of cheesy. But then you get into more of a business mindset and you're like, it's not cheesy. It is how you promote your business and how you can help grow your business.
Mhm.
So once you get there to that point, then you can be like, okay, I felt more comfortable with setting goals like that, subs and followers and whatnot. What do you think are good goals to have to help grow, I guess? Because like I said, I mean, outside of maybe just like follower and sub goals.
So here's my thoughts on it is that the way I have tried to set goals in the past was I would use like the SMART like acronym, which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time based, right? Which is something like I think I learned at a job years ago, right? So you would set a specific goal rather than say, well, I just want to be a big famous Twitch streamer. Like, you know, set a specific goal. Make sure it is measurable, something that you can, you know, go in. And with Twitch, that's easy, right? You can see any stat that you want about, you know, Twitch or whatever. Achievable, you know, I'm not going to say, well, I want to hit 1 million followers. Like, it needs to be something that is,
easy.
you know, achievable and the next one realistic as well, right? Because my way of thinking is if you set an unrealistic goal, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. And then time-based, I mean, I guess time-based, take it or leave it. But it's, you know, again, if you wanted to have, I want to hit this goal by this time, you know, so that you can then review that goal at the end of the time period and see if you hit that and everything like that. So that's kind of the mindset I have if I was to set a goal. However, I would also say that a lot of goals that you may set on a stream are not really dictated by you, if that makes sense. Follower goals.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Cyber.
I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, they are set by you, but they're only ever achievable by your community. So you could say, look, I want 1,000 subs this month, right? And whether or not that's realistic or not, you're still setting that goal, but it's up to your community to fulfill that.
Yeah, absolutely. The way, I mean, there's several ways of thinking about it, right? In the sort of years ago when I first started streaming, I'd be like, okay, I want to hit this follower count, this follower goal. But in my experience, setting a follower goal didn't really make this like more follows come in than normal. It was just like, hey, when we've reached this point, which I almost feel like if you keep streaming, you keep working hard, you're going to reach that point one time or another.
Yep.
When we hit this point, I'm going to do this thing. And that's a cool way to celebrate a milestone. But the actual point of setting the goal, I don't feel like it helped growth, right? I don't feel like people were going, hey, I'm going to go get my friends and they're going to come in here and follow. And even if they did, is that helping long term? Because maybe they're just going to come in, click the follow, and never come back, right? So to me, a follower
shitty
goal was difficult. Also, because you can't force people to follow you. You know, you can't force that.
Yes, you can.
But like, you know,
yeah.
I don't think you've been bribing correctly.
Know where these people live.
But my
Stand outside their
example, I
window
think,
at night with a bat.
Shit, that's
that-
dark. I love it.
Kibble's comments do not reflect the views of the podcast.
They do.
My views.
my thought on it was, if I say, well, I want to get 20 new follows this week, I could stream 24/7, right? And I might not hit that goal. You know, so there's a line of like, yeah, there's some responsibility on me to be creating that content and be interesting enough that people want to come in and follow. But at the same time, like, you could do everything right and nobody new comes into your stream. Like, that's just the way that it goes. So setting a goal like that is tough because you might hit it, you might not, and it might not be your fault one way or the other. And then you're potentially just setting yourself up to be disappointed, right? Especially if it's a time-based goal where you want to hit it by a certain time.
Yeah.
I think the same could be said with a lot of different goals. Same with like average viewership. It's fine to have these goals, but it's difficult because you can't force it.
You can't, but for me, like I do have a follower goal, but it's more, for lack of a better term, it's like a placebo goal. You know, it's there on the stream, and for me, it's almost like a call to action in my brain to try and do the things that I've set out, better content, interacting with chat, making sure that the stream's worthy of a follow. I think it's, you are correct in what you're saying, but if you flip on the other side, not to take away from your comment, it's almost like a constant reminder. You know, I need to do better. I need to make sure that I interact with chat. I need to make sure that if there is any new people coming into the chat, make them want to follow.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the way that I look at it.
You're not taking away from the comment at all because there's those two sides to it, right?
Yep.
You know, if setting that goal motivates you to do better, work harder, or really focus on, you know, the content you're making, then it's obviously great. And maybe you're the type of person that is really motivated by that. Maybe you're the type of person that can be demotivated if you don't hit that goal. Maybe it makes you want to work harder. It just really comes down to what works for each individual person, I think. Have any of you, I mean, I know Cyber, you said you had a goal for the new emote. Have any of you ever had any like incentives that you've set for hitting a goal before? And to add to that, what do you think makes a good incentive? What do you think that does with a goal? You know, what's the effectiveness of it?
I think it's hard to be original with incentives now. Like, it goes back to all the other podcasts trying to be original with your ideas. Everyone's done all the incentives. It's, for me, I struggle with trying to find something that's genuine. Like playing a very specific game on stream that I know that I'm gonna be bad at. Everyone's done it, but I would love to do it. I just don't have the confidence to get out my comfort zone to do something like Soma. I would shit my pants the entire time.
I would love to see that though. That would be hilarious.
I'm not about that life. I like my comfort zone where I can shoot shit, and then everything else Soma's here. I'm
Well,
like, nah, blinkers are on.
If
Fuck
you're
that.
shitting your pants, you will be shooting shit. So
Underwater though, no one wants to see that.
I think that it kind of comes down to intent, and I to briefly address the thing Billy last said and Conti's question, which is how do you incentivize, or do you provide an incentive for certain goals? I think that I don't think there's anything new with like a tried and true method. I think that sometimes the things that work for a reason, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think that doing like an emblem giveaway if you're in Destiny, or giving like if any game that has a code or something where you can give away an in-game item, you know, can be a nice incentive if you reach a certain kind of goal. You could do it either by having people in the community play with you or directly compete to do a thing, or you could even just have it whoever's live at the time. You can do a random, use a bot and do like a random drawing from whoever's in chat and award them something. I think that kind of stuff can be cool. And again, you see a lot of people say, "Oh, free emblem giveaway," or if I do this, I'll help you through a raid, or I'll um, whatever it may be. I don't think that there's. I think it is tough to come up with new stuff all the time, um, but I don't think you should have to. And in terms of intent, I guess it's like, what do you want out of your goals? Like, some people will have a goal because they very specifically want to achieve something for themselves or for the community. So if you have like a goal, as Cyber said, like, we're gonna have a goal so that we can get this for subs because we want to get this next emote slot unlocked. And the reason for that is because that's just how Twitch works. You need X number of subs to unlock your first or sorry, your second, third, fourth, and fifth emotes for tier 1.
Mhm.
That's cool. I mean, like, it's practical. After you get your fifth slot, do you then just keep making a goal for that? Maybe not. I think that there is a placebo effect in play. I noticed when I was a viewer, and then later became a streamer, that there is something to be said, I think, for there being a goal on screen, whatever that may be. It could be a follow goal, it could be a sub goal, but like, how many times have you ever been in a stream? And I say this to anyone here on the panel, but also like in chat. You've been on someone's stream, you're enjoying the streamer, you're enjoying the content, people are vibing and the energy is high in a chat, and whatever the goal is, if it's a hype train, if it's just someone's sub goal that they have like on their screen, you've seen someone be like, "Oh, you're only two subs away, here's like 5 gifted subs," or like, the hype train is at like at 95%, here's like 200 bits. Like, that little prompt can sometimes be enough to push people to act. And that in of itself can be its own reward. And again, you don't have to have a you don't have to have intent behind it. Like, I think follower goals after you reach affiliate can be strange, unless you're hitting like milestones. So if like you're hitting 2,000 follows, you're hitting like 500 follows, like stuff like that is nice because it feels like it's a mile marker for growth and for progress. And I think that the reward there is just the pride that you get, for both yourself and for your community. And you guys can be like, "Hey, we've been putting on in all this work, and we got here together." And sometimes that's the reward. It doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be very deep. Like, I don't
Sure.
think you have to. The goal itself doesn't have to necessarily be something like clear and tangible. It can just be something as simple as, we have a prompt on the screen, and if we reach the marker for that prompt, hey, we did a good job. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
I
it feels
agree.
like after kind of what Grog was talking about and kind of combining everything, it just seems like setting a goal. There's almost like different stages of like how the goal will work. Initially, incentive is more important, it seems like, and which makes sense because otherwise, what are you? I'm trying to hit this sub. I'm trying to hit this follower count. Why should I follow you? Like, there needs to be why should I drop that follow? Why should I give you that sub? There has to be something, whether it's the content you're providing, a game you might play. It feels like something needs to be there for me to just, otherwise, I mean, if it's just you playing a video game, why am I hitting the heart? Why am I, spending $5 or whatever it is? So like, I feel like
for anyone listening on Spotify later at home, something came up and
No, it didn't break.
Pumps just had to go quiet.
kids are yelling. My wife is returning. Anyway.
Yeah, don't mute yourself. I want to hear this.
No.
Shut up!
It's so like initially incentive is more important. Well, I mean it comes at a yeah, it's more important, but then towards the end, it's not it can be just that close enough, like you're close. You know what I mean? Like I can, it's not going to take much viewer effort to get you that little bit away, whether or not there's necessarily they're getting anything out of it. They're just, it's easier to be like, oh, I'm helping you out because you're this close away
Yeah.
versus like, you're trying to reach 100 subs and you're, at 22. It's like, I'll stick around and watch like what's let's see if it's worth me dropping that sub. So I can
Yeah.
kind of see that. And then also I want to point out, Dennis made a really I really like what Dennis said in chat about how you kind of set up your goals. I think it needs to, well, he kind of, said it basically, have your goal and then break it down into smaller goals that will help you achieve the bigger goal. So really you need to
Yes.
sit down, figure out what your main goal is. What am I trying to do? And then break that goal down into smaller chunks. Like if your main goal is, I want to be partnered streamer, I want to be full-time partnered streamer, break it down, everything that is involved with getting you there. And then if those individual steps can be broken down further because they're still big chunks, break them down even more so
Yep.
that you're just taking bites out of it. Little bit of bites, little bit bites, little bit bites. And then eventually the sandwich is gone in your partner streamer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Thanks
get a
for the podcast.
sandwich?
See you guys
I
next
need a
week.
sandwich.
Yeah, you're making me hungry here.
Goal sandwiches. All right, I love it.
Mm.
The setting goals, like I remember one time I did set a sub goal, and I incentivized it by saying, okay, if we hit this sub goal, I will do a VR stream and play a horror game in VR. And I think within 5 minutes of turning the stream on that day, we had hit the goal. And obviously, I think the actual content that came out was good because we did this VR horror game and people seemed to enjoy it. It was funny. I hated it. I was miserable. And that's what people wanted to see.
It.
But
We loved it.
what I took away from that was the actual goal was achieved because community members were gifting subs to hit that goal. And it just didn't sit right with me afterwards because it felt like, well, the goal to me should be growth. And in a perfect world, setting that sub goal, maybe new people come in and they think, oh, well, I want to see this. This would be a fun stream to watch. Maybe I'll subscribe. And then that's a new viewer that might stick around. Whereas what actually happened was the subs were gifted out by members of the community. And that, as much as that's very much appreciated, and obviously, we all love subs and gifted subs, like that's really nice. It didn't ultimately lead to any growth on the channel. And I just felt kind of bad for doing that because it just felt like that was incentivizing people to gift subs, which, again, I didn't want to be pushing people in that direction. So I haven't done really anything like that since. I've experimented with maybe like a daily sub goal or whatever, but I feel like I'm just not quite at that point yet. I want those goals to be actually helping push me forward as a streamer. So, for example, a goal that I would set for myself, which is completely on me to achieve, and I can't, if I fail this goal, then I've only got myself to blame, is, well, I want to stream X amount of hours this week, or I want to stream X amount of days this week. If I don't achieve that goal,
X amount of content.
right? Exactly. If I don't achieve that goal, I can only blame myself. That, to me, is better than setting a follower goal for my own way my mind works. Because if I set that follower goal and I stream double what I would normally and I don't hit that follower goal, I'm just going to feel bad. Whereas setting that goal that's easily achievable by myself just from being organized and being motivated to get on and do the streams worked out really well for me. What other sort of, has anyone got any other examples of maybe goals that they would set?
To build off that, like if you do set a goal for, I'm going to stream this number of hours a week, but like a family of raccoons move into your stream room, can you still only blame yourself? Or
I guess in that specific scenario, I might.
You didn't
Absolutely.
barricade your
If
house
you-
well enough.
Absolutely.
So,
If you
yeah.
set a content goal and a family of raccoons find yourself
you're not
in your
taking
room
advantage of
and
that?
you're not using that as content,
Yeah.
you are a failure, sir. An absolute failure.
If anything, that like you say, that helps.
I think that so I guess part of my rambling before and part of what this conversation is making me think of is that like it's hard to articulate because I think we're kind of talking about two different things. There's goals that are about gain and growth, right? You're trying to get something. And then there are goals that are not inherently about that, but they are
Influencers
a
of getting those.
Yep.
they are a it's simply just a thing you'd like to see or like there is on one side you've got like I want to get something out of this. I want to get something financially out of this. I want to get something material out of this. I want to get something like quantifiable in terms of like I want more subs or I want more follows or I want to, I want more people to join the Discord or whatever it is. And then on the other side, you've got like things that you just sort of like to see or things that you'd like to just implement or practice more. Like for example, like I have a goal and it's to edit more. I don't do it, but it is a goal of mine, and it's not a thing that happens on stream, but it's like a thing that I can set tangible markers for myself. I can make a Google Calendar event and say like, all right, on this day I'm going to edit for this many hours, or on this day I'm going to go through my clips and do this thing. That's a goal. It is about ultimately personal growth, and it is about exposure for the channel, but I mean immediately it is just about like I just need to get the thing done. And then you've got these sort of like some of these are just like passive goals. Like you could have a passive goal like I'm going to try to raid smaller streamers more rather than like raid people. Like you could set a goal for yourself to say, well, I'm going to go into the directory and I'm going to just like either on or off stream like catch some small names of people and I'm just going to go raid them. Because that's maybe what you want to do. It maybe feels good, and maybe you think you'll be able to expose yourself, but also maybe help other people. You're not necessarily gaining anything from that. It's just like a thing that you wish to do. I think it's I don't know. It's like it's just about what you want, and I think the thing is like it's difficult to juggle. Sometimes you're doing a thing because you want material gain, and then other times you're doing a thing because it's not about the material gain you get, it's just about wanting the experience. And sometimes you are doing both of those simultaneously. And it can, I don't know, like it's a funny feeling. I know exactly what Connie was saying before about like getting money or gifted subs or bits or donos like from friends, because like you don't want to feel like you're taking from your friends. It's just like a weird mental mindset.
Yeah.
Well, to put that into context, he didn't actually have his donations switched on for like the first 2.5, 3 years that he was streaming.
Yeah.
Absolute fool.
The thing is, like,
people had to bully him into that.
Me included. I was like, switch them on.
Let people give you money.
Like, I understand where Condi was coming from, and just to highlight exactly what Grog literally just said, you don't want to take money from your friends, but in the same token, you don't force anybody to donate. They either want to hit one of those goals that you've got up on the stream, or they just want to be generous. It's a fine line to walk. You shouldn't feel guilty about them doing it, but I also see the other side where LSF's completely riddled with it, where people are trying to take advantage of a lot of people. I think having goals are 100% legitimate, even if it is for monetary gain. Like I said, no one can force anybody to actually
Give me your money. Give me your money.
Yeah, we've seen how badly it's exploded when people are begging for subs and begging for money.
Yeah.
So if
It's
people
only
are
$5. If you can't afford $5, then get the down.
Why are you even on this free platform?
Why are you even on here?
I agree. The whole issue of that, the monetization is a tricky one. And I think I want to save that for another week and dive into that in depth. I guess it does come down to, setting goals a little bit as well. If your goal is, a donation goal or a sub goal. And I think there's right and wrong ways to do it. Kind of as you said.
A lot of this.
Sorry, go ahead, Kibbles.
I think a lot of this can come down to, I don't know if any of you guys watch the Punk Rock NBA on YouTube, but he like breaks down bands or trends, and then like from a business perspective, like why did this fail? What happened? Kind of thing. And a big thing he's said is that there's a massive difference between rap and rock or punk, in that in rap they aren't really ashamed of trying to become successful, but in punk, rock, and metal, it is
Complete
absolutely
opposite.
looked down
Yeah.
upon. Yeah.
Sellouts.
So you're like seen as a sellout, and that's very destructive to growth. Like that's how
Yes.
something dies out. So you can't look at it as, oh, I'm going to take advantage of these people and I'm going to get their money. Give me your money, motherfucker. You can't do that. But you also can't go, oh, well, I'm ashamed if anybody gives me money if this is something that I want to be able to sustain myself with. You can't be looking at it that way. It's very counterintuitive to growth.
That's
And
a
the-
very good
the
way
sellout-
of explaining it.
The sellout issue is something that's big on Twitch as well. I mean, if you remember when Ninja was at his peak, people went through a weird movement of refusing to sub to Ninja because, oh, well, he doesn't need any more money. You know, and I know, like, you know, love him or hate him, whatever, right? He made a statement about, well, you know, what if this new artist released their album? Are you just not going to buy it because they have, you know, all this money already? They don't need any more money, which is like, it's a tough comparison, but like, it is definitely a culture on Twitch that people are aware of. I think what I want to do is, I really liked what Hump said earlier about breaking down the goals into smaller ones. I know you were kind of quoting from Dennis in chat. But I really like that. And I think we should try and set goals ourselves and break them down. So what would be like so say like, okay, what's your long-term goal is to get partnered on Twitch, right? How do we break that down further? Like what would be the sort of the next level down from that?
Go ahead, Gibbs.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
Oh.
no.
Well,
no,
something
okay,
CK asked the same question in chat. How do you break down the partner goal?
Mhm.
The only thing tripping people up is going for concurrent views. I guess like he's right. I mean, like generally most people are hitting the number of days required, number of hours required, number of everything required. Just it's concurrent views. That's always going to be the thing that hangs people up from hitting partnership if they stream regularly and consistently. I guess you just have to abstract it by saying, okay, well, if getting more concurrent views is the key, you could zoom out a little bit and think about like, well, how do I get more views? How do I get seen? I mean, obviously, some people might turn to social medias and say, well, you know, networking with other people and trying to see and be seen, you know, either through YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter is the way to go. That's their idea of a short or a near future goal for achieving that end goal. But I would say break it down even further. Like if fundamentally you're interested in getting more views, think about how are you being seen and represented if someone is scrolling through Twitch itself. If someone's scrolling through the directory, when you're looking at your entire, you know, scene in OBS and it's shrunk down as like a thumbnail on Twitch, like how does your overlay stand out from somebody else's? One thing that like they don't use it anymore, but one thing that stood out for me for Kibbles when I first caught your stream was that you had a very unique and original overlay. There was sort of like on like 3/4 of one screen was, you know, this sort of like old TV, you know, like aesthetic that you might have played, you know, Super Nintendo on or something like that, and then you know the webcam was off to the side, like that. I think about like how I saw Condi's stream for the first time. I was scrolling through the directory and I noticed his background. A lot of people, it was like a white, you know, it's their bed in the background. It's like a white bedroom, white walls, whatever. And this is someone who had, it was like bright, loud colors. It popped. They were wearing what I could clearly see was like a Destiny, you know, like logo on their shirt. Like, and I could see that from the thumbnail. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's cool. Like they were into Destiny and like you know, I don't know, like it's those small impressions that those are the little things that can add up over time to get you to the larger goal. So I would say like think about, you know, do you have what do you notice that stands out for you when you're looking as a viewer? Are you looking for people that have a good camera? Are you looking for people that have a creative background behind them in their studio? Are you looking for because everyone's already going to be playing the same game, so the game itself can't make you stand out,
Mm.
right? Like if like playing Fortnite or playing Apex or playing Destiny or playing League of Legends or any of these games, like the game itself is not what's going to stand you out. Your gameplay might make you stand out, but your gameplay, if you're a super skilled gamer, that's going to come through reputation, and like your reputation is going to be built on time, and it's going to be built on exposure. So if you're connecting with a lot of people and your stuff is being seen in a lot of places and it is being distributed, then that's how people will know, oh, this person, this guy or gal is like a fucking kick-ass gamer. Like they're so good. Like their skill gap is through the roof. But like people don't see that when they're just scrolling through the directory. So sometimes it might just come down to the aesthetics of it. Like how do you aesthetically represent yourself? Does your logo stand out? Again, we're only talking like a tiny circle the size of a dime, but like when you're scrolling through, is your logo readable? Like I guess I think more about brand as one of the very beginning platforms that people should set goals for themselves, because without a strong visual brand, it's hard to get noticed, and without being noticed, you don't get views. Without getting views, you don't get like follows, and without getting follows, you don't get like more viewers and concurrent viewers, and you don't get rated by people, and like it's just a snowball, right?
Yeah.
um
Yeah, it's interesting. So, okay, so I want to try and stick with the idea of let's set a goal together and then work together to break that down. So, what we mentioned was, okay, let's say if partnership is the long-term goal, you identified that the main thing most people end up being tripped up on is that the concurrent viewership, right? So what's one thing you can do to increase that viewership? So the aesthetic of the stream, make it eye-catching, overlays. So that's a good goal you could set for yourself as a short-term achievable, goal, right? That's a realistic, let's make the stream look aesthetically more pleasing. Either that's designing new overlays or speaking to a designer to get new overlays, maybe doing something with your background, have some interesting green screens or something like that, right? That's a good first goal. I would say short-term, easy to achieve, depending. I mean, I'm not artistically talented, so more difficult for me. But so that's a good goal. So what other methods then, if you're looking for that concurrent viewership to hit that goal, what other methods are there that you could set a goal and work on?
So I would say like the two big things for getting those concurrents is be good if you're playing video game, like or specifically talking streaming video games, I guess. Is either being exceptionally good at that game, and like Grog mentioned, having the reputation. We have people like Gigs, Frostbolt, they're phenomenal at the game. Like people that are really good at the game,
Yep.
they're gonna have that reputation. People are just gonna come to their channel to watch them play. So either be dope as shit at a game, or be some sort of creative and interesting. And that part, I think most people will probably fall into, because not everybody has the time to be in the top 0.5% of the entire, community that
Directory.
plays specific game. So, and then we talked about specifically interesting or creative is hitting the visual aesthetics of your stream, be it the branding of it, be it the background lights, no lights, green screens. Something that defines you. And I think it should be kind of specific to you. Find something that makes you interesting. Find your thing to separate. Because copying what others have done that have been successful will work to an extent. Like it can work to an extent, but you're not going to overarch them or pass them up, or maybe even get as successful, because people have seen it before. They know who you're, either copying or taking a reference from. They know they've seen it before. So you need to find something that is kind of your thing, which for me is the hardest part to do, because you think about it, you're like, oh, what about this or what about this? And you're like, all you can think of like what everyone's already done, or even just trying to think of something like, oh, what is me? Like right now, I'm just playing video games. So like that part's kind of the hard part for me, is just finding kind of like your niche, finding your or niche, if you want to say niche.
Yep. Well, one thing that I think is hugely overlooked is somebody who's actually knowledgeable about the game. It doesn't always have to lean onto being like really skilled good aim, great movement, all that kind of stuff. You see, if I tune into somebody and they know what they're talking about, I could listen to them for hours. One of the reasons why I love watching Grog stream is if I ask him a question, he'll go off on a tangent and explain it perfectly. I think
True.
Tangent
it-
guaranteed.
it's almost like you're actually speaking to a person rather than someone saying like, oh, just be good at the game. Like the directory is filled with people like that. It's almost when you bring your personality and bring your knowledge. For me personally, I want to watch that. It's such good content if somebody knows what they're talking about. Like, this is gonna sound really dickish, and it's 50% that way. One of the reasons why I love watching Josh's stream is because
I'm listening.
because like he'll bring that sarcasm and he'll bring the jokes with it, and he'll then explain it perfectly. He reminds me of Grog. Like, I'm not very articulate with my words, and it's a huge thing that I want to work on. But like these two gentlemen, if I would go follow them. Like Josh brings the humor and the the sarcasm with it, and Grog brings the energy and the fun, and both of them explain whatever they're trying to say beautifully, and that's the kind of streamer that I want to watch. They're both skilled at the games that they play, but also they bring that knowledge with it. Knowledge for me is why I watch. Like, it's great actually asking a question and getting an answer.
Yeah.
Like a very well-rounded, non-biased or biased answer. It's like it's my content that I want to watch.
For sure. Absolutely. So, like, I guess you can break that
And
down.
Condi's short.
I'm not short. I'm average height. So, I guess
can
then-
growth can growth be a goal? Like if it's not in the context of viewership, can you
I think he
taller
broke him.
shoes maybe?
So there was something that we've been talking about in the group chat, right? And you really need to adhere to it, right? See, when all the haters come at you, Condi, you need to fucking turn it 180 and fire it right back at them.
See, it doesn't matter because then
Yeah,
I just get
well,
it back.
you're short.
I've learned to accept
Little
the
piss baby.
bullying on all platforms. Yeah, what I was sort of getting at there then, so like again, if you want to break that down as a goal, the game itself, right? The actual content that you're streaming, so whether that be, you know, being a highly skilled player and being well known for being a skilled player is definitely a route that people can go for growth, right? There's a lot of Destiny streamers that I will watch just because I know that they're a good player, and I'm hoping by having their stream open another tab, I'll subconsciously soak some of that in, right?
ain't working,
It's
Bubba.
working. It's working.
But that's just to jump in for a second, isn't that more of a it's a short term, it could be a short term goal to put your ability on display, but it's a long term payoff,
Yes.
right? I mean, yeah.
But again, you could even break it down further as, well, you know, okay, I want to practice X amount of hours or play some scrims, or, you know,
That's
again,
true.
if you want to go down the route of having just tons of knowledge about the game. I can't tell you how many times, and it's embarrassing because I've played thousands of hours of Destiny, and someone will come in and be like, oh, hey, what's this thing do? And I'm like, I don't know, I have no idea. I just play the game. Like, that's a weakness that I have
I don't know,
for
just work
sure.
here.
Yeah, right. And it's the same if I play Call of Duty. You know, they're like, "Oh, what are you using on your loadout?" Like, I don't know. Whatever Grog told me to use. I'm just, you know, like, that's an issue that I definitely have. So, you know, you can set that goal of, well, okay, I want to learn more about this game, whether it's the lore of the game or the mechanics of the game, whatever. You want to be a source of knowledge for new people coming in. Definitely a big selling point. And you know, skill could be like that same as well. So you can set that goal of, I want to improve my gameplay. Right? An easy goal to do. So again, to zoom back out, if you're one to then, you know, build that viewership, that's your goal. Can anyone give me another avenue that you would maybe go down to you know, to work on to improve that viewership?
It's hard though, because how do you make people want to watch your stream?
Well, that's what
You
I'm
can
asking.
only well, you can't really.
You just try to
You
do
can-
a reverse card.
Yeah, you can only really appeal to a certain amount of taste. There's 3.8 million broadcasters on Twitch, right? So if you think you're in the small percentile of people randomly coming across your stream, the only things that you can really hone in on is your overlays, your camera quality, your sound, and your personality. That's all. And if you look at the statistics on somebody clicking on your stream, it's what, either 10 seconds and then they switch off. They'll move on to the next stream. So within those 10 seconds, there's
There's an
only
ad.
really that as well. Fucking ads. So you can only really work on three of them, in my personal opinion: the camera quality, the audio, and your overlays. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So increasing your
Then-
stream quality. Yeah.
Yep. And then the only thing you can genuinely rely on is your personality to draw that person in.
And to help with that, what we say, I feel like we say it every week. A big key to that specific aspect of it is diversify, diversify, diversify. Your if this is an actual goal for you to do this full time, partner, whatever it is, your main source of content cannot come from Twitch.
Yep.
Yep.
That is a place for people to come hang out, watch gameplay, chill, see ya. But that is not the main source. It needs to come from other places.
Yep.
Social media is going to be the big part because it's social media for a reason. Everyone's on it. TikToks, YouTube is a huge part. There are millions and millions and millions and millions of people on YouTube. You need to have your main content needs to be elsewhere that brings yourself into Twitch to hang out.
Yep.
Then which will help 100% with your average viewers because people are coming in from other sources that you're putting out there, and then you'll help reach that goal.
Yep. It's a huge bugbear for me when I see people saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna wait until I get big," because if you look at the amount of streamers that are on Twitch that have actually made it, and made it a very like conceptual term because it's very like personal. But if you look at the amount of people that have actually made it big, they are the exception, not the rule. And 100% what Josh says, you need to diversify your content because we have fucking said it before. Look at Mixer, right? If
Yep.
everybody 100% just focused on streaming, doing 12 hours a day, look at where that got them. And a lot of people genuinely did bounce back and are now on Twitch or Facebook Gaming or YouTube, whatever. But if that Armageddon event happens again, you need something to fall back on. You really do.
100%. That's kind of what I was hoping to get at, was the diversifying content, because that's another very easy goal you can set for yourself that is completely achievable. It doesn't rely on anyone else. It doesn't rely on, the community subscribing or new people coming in and following you. It is a goal that you can do that completely comes down to you, and you can break that down into such, small bite-sized chunks, bite-sized little pieces of that sandwich, right? And okay, maybe my goal is I should post 3 clips on Instagram this week, or I should make a point of posting X amount of times on Twitter or TikTok. Maybe my goal is to just have more interesting content on my Twitter, because it doesn't take a lot of time if you're focusing a bit of energy into it, right? Again, I've said it so many times, there's nothing worse than someone new follows me on Twitter. I'm going to click on their Twitter profile, scroll down. Every single tweet is just their Twitch link. Hey, I'm live. Link. Every single one. You scroll down. That I'm really going to gain nothing from following that Twitter account, because there's nothing interesting. There's nothing catching my attention on there. So that's a goal, right? And all of these goals will add up, to help you overall. But, what we're talking about, breaking them down. So for example, for me, when we went into like the quarantine, the lockdown, and I suddenly had a lot more time on my hands, my goal was I'm going to learn to edit videos so that I don't have to rely on other people to make content for YouTube for me. And I mean, I technically still rely on other people when I force them to be in my videos, but like I sat down and I learned how to use like Premiere to edit a video, and I'm comfortable now making a video. Like it's not the best, and I feel like it does improve with each upload, but at the start of that quarantine, I didn't have the slightest idea of how to do any of that. And by the end of that quarantine, I was able to, I mean, we uploaded a lot of videos over that 12-week period. And I feel much more comfortable now actually going, I want to make this, here's how I'm going to do it, and actually finishing, you know, a product at the end and uploading it. So that was a goal I set myself, and I feel like I achieved that goal, and that feels great. Even if those videos were getting no views, I still did it. I still learned that skill, right? And that's something that's going to help me if I do want to do this as a career. That's something that's going to help me moving forward, because I now have that ability and that goal. And yeah, you can look at that and go, well, I want to upload X amount of videos a week, and that might be difficult. As I've found, I just have no time. But it's still something that's in my sort of toolbox now of a skill that I have. So we've kind of got, well, focusing on, you know, your social media or your content on other platforms is a goal. We've got, you know, working on your stream quality, your overlays, you know, your background, making it eye-catching. We've got your knowledge on the game, your skill, all that sort of things. Is there there's one more I'm thinking of that could be a potential goal. And I'm wondering if any of you are going to come up with it. Has anyone got anything else that they would throw in as a possible sort of quote unquote short-term goal that you could do?
You would have
feel
been
like I'm
a
in
good
school
teacher,
again.
Candy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm in school again.
Yeah.
Anybody else can think? I'm thinking of one thing. Can anybody else think of the other answer? And like, I'm just sitting in the back, like, oh fuck.
There are no wrong answers. All right. There will be a test on
Always a
this. Though.
trap.
There will be a
Yeah.
test. I mean, the last one I was thinking of was, SquareGo just said it in chat. Collabs, working with other broadcasters, quote unquote networking, right? I don't like to look at it as a goal that, oh, I'm going to network with X amount of people, right? That's not the way I would look at it, but I definitely try and set a goal of, I want to watch X amount of other content a week, right? There's times where it's like, I have a couple of spare hours. Let's go and sit and just watch some other streams. Let's go hang out with any of you guys, just hang out in your chats. Let's go maybe play some games while I'm not streaming. I'm just playing with others. Maybe I just want to go watch some other streamers that I've never met before and just try and make some friends. On top of that, you know, maybe I can also set that goal of, I want to collaborate with this person. Maybe let's do a video together. Let's do a stream together. And again, it's not like I've got like okay, from 1 till 3 p.m. I'm going to watch this streamer, and then from 3 till 5, like nothing like that, but actually trying to make a goal. Like one of my goals for 2020 was I want to meet some new people and do more collaboration, stream with other people that I maybe wouldn't have streamed with before. And I think that's a totally achievable goal. And it does help to broaden your, again, quote unquote, network of friends and other content creators that you can come back on it. Again, a lot of the content I do for YouTube, I would like to have other people there with me because I just think it's more entertaining. It's funnier to have multiple viewpoints, and having more people to kind of bring into that is fantastic. And again, more friends is never a bad thing.
So I think what Candy's suggesting is that everybody should start a broadcast once a week. Do it with somewhere between 3 to 5 other people. Yeah, it's just that simple, folks.
It's an it's an interesting point that you bring up, because I think it's one of those goals that is mutually beneficial for both parties. Having a collab can only help both parties, or however many parties it is. That's something that I want to do. It's trying to find the time to actually go and network and find these people that I think would gel with my content, and then bring them into my community. I think it's a very positive goal to have, because not only are you've got a glimpse of their community potentially bleeding into yours, but you've also got your community bleeding into theirs. So it's I think it's been like beneficially mutual. Oh my god, my brain. I think it's mutually beneficial for like both parties.
Yeah,
it's definitely a good one to have. I think that's probably one of the S tier ones to have, in my opinion.
the thing I like about this is I'm a very, I may not come across this way, but I like to be a very organized person in terms of it helps me a bunch if I wake up in the morning and set like expectations in my head of here's how this is going to go today. And even as little as like when it comes down to like even at work, right? The way with my job, I'm a postie, I'm delivering all these things. As I'm working through the day, I break it down into chunks in my head. Like I'm going to do this area, then I'm going to go do this, and then I know I've only got this and this and this, and I break it down, and it's the same way I do everything. I like to have a plan, and I think it probably drives my wife insane because I'm like, I constantly will reiterate to her like, okay, so the plan is we're going to do this, then this, then this, and it works well for me in my head. So particularly when I have like a day off, scheduling out my time is just something that helps me a lot. So I am constantly thinking of plans and schedules for all the content and everything like that. It might not come across that way, but it certainly helps me. So breaking down these things into small achievable goals is 100%. That's how I function, and I really like kind of the fact that we were able to do that. And again, it's not necessarily always about getting the outcome that you want, but if you're setting these goals and you're smart about it, I don't think it's going to hurt anybody to post a bit more interesting content on social media, right? You might not instantly get a ton of new follows, but it's not going to hurt you. So set that goal, and if you achieve it, that's good. You've done a good thing. And I mean, so somebody in your chat just the other day, Humps, was telling you about they had a post on TikTok that blew up, and they gained hundreds of Twitch followers like basically overnight. That is an example of something that can happen. You post a good clip somewhere, it might just blow up. So why not be doing it?
To piggyback off that, make sure that if you're on TikTok and you're posting stuff, make sure that you do have your Twitch linked, because when he brought that up, I said, man, I had a couple clips really blow up. I didn't get anything out of that. He's like, did you have your stuff linked? I went, oh, hey, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
It's just like on his
we
phone
gotta
right now,
talk
and he's
about
like,
after this how to do that.
I knew it. I could see the cogs turning in your head. Like shit.
Yeah.
I will say one tangible goal that should be on everyone's checklist would be if you've joined Twitch, if you have joined a new social media service, make sure that you have gone through all the settings possible and make sure that you provided some sort of information or bit of feedback for all of the all the boxes that you can tick, all the options that you can enable, and just see if it's something that you want or not. Like Twitch continues to go through these evolutions where they have now added channel trailers. Like I haven't recorded mine yet. I need to.
I still need to as well.
Like there's things where you can change the background color tone of your stream. Like so when somebody hovers over it in the directory and it kind of does like this like isometric 3D view pop out, you can choose like what the shadow color is, what the background color is. Like there's all of these little things that you can do to tweak that you should be like, for example, recently you could have a banner image that would be at the top of your Twitch page if you were on desktop. And I uploaded one, and then I learned going back through my settings recently that Twitch had like defaulted back to like some standard color, and I changed it back to my personal one. Like, make sure that you're using the tools to their fullest, I guess is a better way of trying to say what I'm trying to say without rambling, is that like a lot of these services will have features that if you're not aware of them, you're not utilizing them. If you're not utilizing them, then you're not taking advantage of something that might help get you seen or might help, just get you more views. Like we know right now that the meta tags that get attached to streams, like playing with viewers or no backseat gaming or PVE or raid or whatever the little thing is you add, like drops enabled, whatever those things are. There isn't really a system right now for Twitch to use those, but for something like YouTube, like meta tags are critical to being found. So like if you could be like creating content and diversifying your content and uploading it to YouTube in order to add presence to your stream, but if you're not like taking advantage of those meta tags on a platform like YouTube, where they don't really seem to matter much on Twitch, people aren't going to find you. The algorithm is not going to pick up your stuff. So you could be uploading daily. You could be uploading like amazing clips. You could be collaborating with a whole bunch of people, and people won't find it. If your title is bad and your tags are bad, you're not using the system to its fullest. So like make sure that whatever like system or platform that you're on, you have a firm understanding of how does it function, what metrics does it use to determine success, what does it use to get you on the front page, and then based on that, like tackle those issues and work on those points so that you can then leverage it in your favor. Unfortunately, exposure on Twitch is just, I don't like the way it's set up, because it really just comes down to the higher the view count you are, the further up the directory you are. That seems to have changed a little bit. I was browsing recently on directories, and it seemed to be like, I'd go to like the Call of Duty directory, and like Tim the Tatman's at the top, and then there'd be like somebody else, at the top with like another like 20,000 viewers. And then there's like 10 viewers, and then like 20, and then 5, and then 400, and then
it
2.
defaults now to like recommended channels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's nice. That's certainly nice. But like, I think that I don't know how it's making those recommendations. Is it based on if you've watched other channels, or is it like, sort of like 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon? Like, if you're linked, if you're this many degrees apart from that other channel, is that why it's showing? Because like this
Yeah.
person watches this person, and that person also watches this person. I don't know, but I think we all just need to take use of the tools that are there, because there's plenty of tools that just go unnoticed. And then if we're not using them, we're not, I don't know.
Like us, we're tools that go on.
Yeah, solid advice. I have one more thing that I wanted to kind of bring up, before I distribute the homework for this week. I don't actually know if this feature is live. I believe it is, but I haven't tried it yet. So how we have channel points on streams now?
It is live.
Right. So there is a new thing they've added where you can set a goal with your community, and your community can each donate or contribute a set of channel points or some channel points themselves to reach this goal, which I think is interesting, because obviously partly what we're talking about with goals, it might be an alternative to a sub goal or a follower goal, because you can say, well, let's say I don't know, 100,000 channel points, and I'll do this thing. And your community, I don't. Can you cap how much a person can donate? Is that right?
Yes.
Are you? Oh, nice.
Yes, you can.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was just
So-
thinking that. Good.
Yeah.
So in the as Condi explained it, let's say your goal is like 10,000 channel points. You can make it so that anyone can, donate however little they want, or up to a fixed amount. So I think even in the email that went out advertising it, if you are already broadcasting on Twitch, the picture they showed was like, I think their goal was like 6,000 points or something, and the most you could give was 2,000.
Mhm.
So you can limit how much people can cash in, so that any whales you have in your channel who've just been watching forever but don't take use of channel points and are sitting on like 1 million, like Treebot.
Yeah, looking at you,
Condi's,
Tree.
Wumbo.
who probably have enough points to just buy the channel outright from Condi. Doesn't just donate 50,000 and then the goal is instantly met. Because if you did that, then like that would also kind of undermine it being a challenge.
Yes.
So you can kind of distribute the
Is that
load.
cap total? So like say you have this goal carrying throughout multiple streams, is that cap? So if you cap it at 1,000, I can only donate 1,000 channel points, or is that like
Ever or
1,000 a
free?
day?
I actually don't
That
know.
is a good question. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The
I
goal
can have
is
a little look
6,000,
at
and
it.
each person can only donate one.
See, this is what I was thinking of, setting like an
Hit that follow
absolute
button.
troll, like just a complete troll, like 1 million points, and if everybody can only donate 5, and like it's something crazy like as the goal. I think it'd be really funny to mess around with.
1 million
Um,
channel points, and I will partner on Twitch.
I'll
Each
shave-
person
I'll
can
shave
only
my
donate
beard.
one.
Would you shave your beard for like a sub goal or a donation goal?
I've always said
Looking at everyone.
I will shave my beard, but I
Yeah,
feel like it
I
needs
do
to be a charity incentive at some point. I feel like that would be the thing. It would be like a
My
charity
vasectomy
stream.
is charity. Is that you
Hey,
pay for my
anybody
vasectomy?
right now gives me 1 bit, I'll go shave.
Okay,
Right.
What, your head?
deal.
No.
Yeah, we'll shave this. You can shave this.
No, I'll just reshave this.
But yeah, I think that's an interesting thing that I haven't actually seen anyone use it yet. But I've not been as active around other channels recently. Have any of you seen this in action yet?
No, but the thing is, Twitch does this very often right now. They'll drop new features and not tell a fucking soul. Like,
I saw them
did you
tweet, but that's about it.
but it was like 3 days
In
before the
email.
thing came out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Did you know that you can now get bit badges, custom bit badges for set goals?
Yep.
Oh,
Now they fired that out. Yep. They fired that out, didn't tell anybody. It was somebody that actually came over. Well, it was somebody who was on this podcast. It was G-Flow. G-Flow told me, by the way, did you know that you can actually have custom bit badges? And I was like, no, show me. And he showed me.
yeah, I knew that you could have custom
Thought they said
bit
no
badges
about
because I know that we talked off podcast about, or maybe we even talked on podcast about it because we talked about how like the bit icons as a means of currency are like recognizable to an extent if you're on Twitch
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
But like I didn't realize that you could tie them to challenges.
Well, it's
which
like
is
specific
interesting.
amounts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if it's going to be, particularly with the channel points goal thing, if it's going to be something that is used a lot, or it's one of those features that they drop that might not really be fully utilized. Like I know they did the other one where you've got like flare on your sub badges now to show at tier 2 or tier 3, and you can customize that as well apparently.
Yeah.
But that was just something one day, because like in your own channel you're automatically a tier 3 sub, just that's like the status you get like for it. And I was like, why is there this weird stuff on my sub badge? What's happening? And someone I think it was you that explained it, Grog, actually. I think you explained it to me. So Twitch,
If it makes you feel better, somebody asked me in my stream the day before, "Hey, why are those stars on your icon?" And I said, "What stars?" and then I scrolled and I looked. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know why those are there." And then I did the research, found out the answer, so I could look smart in front of you.
well, it
So-
worked. It worked. You've
Yeah.
undone all of that now, but you know. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Like you'd say, the amount of customization that Twitch gives each person. Really, all the tools you need are there at this point. I don't know.
actually like that. It's not the goal. This new goal, the channel point goal. I kind of like it. Whether it gets utilized or not, I mean, that's going to be up to the Twitch community whether it gets utilized or not. But it's a cool tool because it kind of focuses on what really matters in a stream, and that's people being there. You can have 1 million followers and have an average viewer of 5 people. Like this actually helps. I mean, getting people there one thing, but seeing that you have this community challenge or the only way to accrue this currency is by hanging out.
Yeah.
And so, which is what you really want. I mean, that's really what it's about. It's about having people come to hang out. It's not the follower numbers. Sure, cool. Subs obviously help in other ways and whatnot, and definitely show the community love and whatnot. But to get those things, you have to have people hanging out, and I think it's kind of a cool goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you set some absolutely dope channel point rewards, that's going to incentivize people to want to hang out and save up those points. And
Oh, this dude's gonna shave his beard? Fuck yeah.
I
Up for
just
that.
have no idea what to do with my channel points, and I've long said like I just wish they weren't a thing, because now it's like added a level that other people have been so creative and done some awesome things with.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm stuck.
Be
Like
careful what you put on there.
yes.
I have a thing. It probably cost us a game on Friday.
Oh. mm.
But it's like 10,000 channel points, and I'll drop my active gun in Warzone.
We were
I
like in the
dropped my
final
growl.
circle, or near the final
Yeah,
circle.
We were 20. I have a stipulation in there that it can't be used if we're last of 10, but we were last of 20. So I dropped my growl, And then it's like, okay, I just have my sniper, and they're like, okay, drop the sniper. It's like, cool, okay. Oh, I found a harpy. Drop the harpy. Cool. So all I had was a cluster strike and my fists.
Yeah, it's yeah, but that's the whole point, right? That's the engagement. It's something I struggled with as well because I had channel points to use a controller, and I just hated it. I hated it so much that I just end up pausing it most of the time. Because the difficult balance I think with channel points is always trying to find something that's entertaining and funny, and worthwhile, but without directly stopping the flow of the stream. Like again, particularly games like maybe Trials, I don't want to have something that's going to negatively impact the people on my team as well. Because if I'm, playing with a blindfold on, that's potentially going to cost them the match as well, right? Like,
where you don't typically play with a blindfold, could have fooled me.
Or roasted.
And if you would like to apply to take Hump's spot on the podcast, just email us. But yeah, like my point is it's an interesting new tool for setting goals. This community pool of channel points, and it's something I want to play around with a little bit. The temptation is to do a troll, but I feel like maybe I want to try and do some actual legitimate ones first. And like you say, if you set a good goal, people are going to be incentivized. They're going to want to stick around a little bit longer and save up those channel points. So it is potentially interesting. Unless we have anything else to add to any of these topics, or any goals anyone wants to share with us, any potential goals you're thinking of, we can wrap up unless anyone's got anything.
I want to stop changing my overlay. That's one of my goals.
And that's a good goal.
Like I've got this innate problem of learning something new, putting it into practice, and going, "Look, that looks cool. I'm gonna stick that on my stream," and then I have to change everything. And it's like, fuck. What I need to do is I need to set up my own shop and just design overlays. That's it. And then haven't got time to stream.
Yeah, just do stuff for me. That works. I think my goal moving forward is gonna have to be channel points. Channel points and channel trailer, I think, are the two things. I need to sort a good channel trailer, and I need to come up with some better channel point rewards because I'm stuck. My mind's a blank on that. And I feel bad because people suggest stuff, and I have to just be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
I might be giving away my secret here, but one thing that I have been doing is, rightly or wrongly, going through some of the biggest streamers on Twitch and some of the smaller streamers on Twitch, and basically I've got like a notepad, and I've written everything down that they do, and I look at it every single day, and I'm not going to use one of those ideas, but just that visual representation. I'm hoping one day it's going to spark something, and I go, or if I combine like 10 of those and take small little aspects, boom, there's my next channel point thing. I'm waiting for that epiphany to happen.
Yep.
So far it hasn't. But for me, it's a really good way that I must click on it every single day, and I need to come up with a new idea, and I'm just waiting for it to happen. Everything's been done. It's so creatively frustrating.
Yeah.
It's hard not to rip somebody off. I mean, ultimately, if you've never even looked at somebody's stream before and they've got something very similar, obviously someone's going to call you out and say, oh, I've seen that before. But I think between the 5 of us, or like the entire zero strategy team, I think we can come up with some good stuff.
Hope so.
Especially those goals. And one thing that I just had a look at, it pops up in a similar place where the subtrain does in the chat. So there's that visual representation on your stream,
right,
forever, that there is that goal. It's built within the actual Twitch UI, which is really good, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Anyone else any goals they want to share?
As Square Gamers pointed out, I need to do a channel trailer. It's been there. It prompts me every time I check my own page, and it's like, hey, we've got this new feature. Do you want to check it out? I'm like, yeah, I know about you. I just haven't done it. And I need to. I think I kind of want to make mine a bit of a hey, how's it going? My name is blah blah blah, and this is what I do. And then, but also, like make it kind of a little montage of like just different stuff, in a way that like if anyone's if anyone in chat has seen Condi stream before, he has like a little warm up montage that is kind of like a highlight reel of just funny moments and good plays, and like just it gives you the vibe of the stream. I need to do that, and I think that I kind of want to cut just some of my like proudest play moments and also some funny moments together, and kind of wrap it together with like a little bit of a welcome format. But I really need to do that. I think that's going to be my next big goal, and then beyond that, just diversify. Just cut more videos and just try to get them out there on different platforms.
Sure. For the channel trailer, we should keep each other accountable. Like I'll harass you until you get it done. You harass me till I get it done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine
Deal.
can just be screaming from different angles.
Just for 60 seconds straight.
Yep. Watch me blow out my
That'd be
vocal
a
cords.
pretty good representation of the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not wrong.
Yeah. Awesome. Humps, Kibbles,
Still
either you guys
surprised-
got goals you want to set? Or?
I do, and I am going to focus more on actual other content is my goal. I've always wanted to do more type of content, and the content I specifically want to do or to have on the diversified, I don't necessarily want it to be specific to like what I do on Twitch, but more just like just ideas that I've had and things I've written down or have notebooks and things that I have great, well, in my opinion, great ideas. But I just have a bunch of ideas. Yeah, we'll see if that happens. But I just haven't been able to actually take that do part.
Yeah.
I over prepare, I over get ready, I over get stuff I need and whatnot, and then I just don't do it for a plethora of reasons. But my goal is to actually get hot on that,
Yeah.
I think one of the
Content
good
train.
things to try and like branch away from is try not doing the same content that you make on Twitch on different platforms. Because what you see on a lot of like things like TikTok, they make very specific streaming content on TikTok and hope that's going to translate over to like different platforms. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Kibbles makes funny videos on TikTok. If you look at Josh, even though he's just like jumped onto TikTok, he hasn't made like the same content that everyone else is pumping out. He's made funny videos that actually show his personality. And I think if you can translate that to YouTube, like making things that are either like loosely streaming related or like me personally, I'm gonna try and branch out and do like eating challenges on YouTube, like order a bunch of like Japanese food, maybe even try doing like spicy noodle challenges and all that kind of stuff, and then hopefully build a community around that where if there's gamers that are involved in there, they might want to come over to Twitch, not solely focus on I want streamers on YouTube
Yeah.
or TikTok. Like I think it's a very it's pumping the narrative that it should work, but it doesn't. You look at everyone else and they diversify their content by putting a different side of themselves on like different platforms. We watch a guy called How to Drink, and he basically makes
Is that
cocktails and
Humps?
drinks.
Is that Humps
Well,
alt
he
channel?
likes to drink, but not how to drink. But he makes like a whole bunch of different cocktails, and he translates his nerdiness. He likes playing Fallout. He likes streaming on Twitch, but he's got like this very professional setup where he'll make like drinks from like Cyberpunk, or he'll make drinks from Fallout or Elder Scrolls, and it's completely different. But people that watch him have then moved over to his Twitch, where his Twitch is completely different. It's not making alcohol on like alcoholic drinks on stream. It's just him streaming like video games, and his Twitch is blown up. It's counterfiable that it does actually work to show a different side of you. You don't need to focus on gaming. I'm not saying don't focus on gaming. I'm just saying try different ideas because it does work.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to kind of, I guess I saw the question in chat, how to grow from affiliate to partner on Twitch. So that's mainly been the topic for today, if we want to just kind of TLDR, right? Set, if your goal is partnership, break it down into smaller goals. Yeah, right. Break it down into smaller goals. You work on diversifying your content on other platforms, networking, making friends, hanging out in other streams, finding your niche, right? Trying to be unique. What do we say? Working on stream quality, whether that's your visuals, your audio, but break it down into small goals and then hit those goals
Mr.
one at a time.
Condi.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Condi.
We still need a goal from Kibbles. I think I know Kibbles' goal, which will be to actually finish games on stream. Am I right?
Fuck no. Actually, I need to get back into editing, but I don't really have a huge amount of time anymore with work, and they've added a bunch of stuff, and I'm also trying to get out of the house more and lose more weight. So I'm actually, yeah. I want to still edit some things every now and then, but I am actually currently looking for an editor if anybody is interested.
Hey, brother.
No.
But yeah, videos, because they're fun. It's very time consuming.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
And what you were saying when quarantine was going on, I wasn't quarantined, I was working from home, but that still meant I had a lot more time at home to do that stuff. So it was way easier to be like, oh yeah, let me spend 10 hours this week editing a video.
For sure. I've sacrificed streams to edit. I didn't stream yesterday, spend the whole time editing. I didn't stream this morning. I was editing instead. It's about, like you say, scheduling out your time and trying to make it work. Again, I've said you could stream 12 hours a day, but I think it was Humps that brought up the point that you need to diversify, because you're not necessarily just always growing when you're live. So,
yep. The thing is, there is some people that do that, but it's the exception, not the rule.
Exactly.
you need to focus on those words.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that about wraps us up for today. So let's quickly go around everyone. Cyber, where can everyone find you, and what have you got coming up for us this week?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter, The Cyber Project. This week, hopefully, I'm going to be actually recording the Eating Challenge with Mary, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to be streaming Tarkov. After this, I'm going to grab a quick bite to eat and going to try and not die.
Good luck. Grog, what about yourself?
Today, I'm going to be doing Warzone with these fine folks here you see on stream. And I'm finally back in the house. And what that means is that this will be my first stream in a week, something like that. There was basically, long story short, for anyone who didn't know, just a lot of circumstances outside my control have just meant that my life is kind of turned upside down. But things are good. Things are getting better. And I'm really looking forward to doing the stream this afternoon and getting them dubs.
It's good to
Heck
see
yeah.
you back. It is.
Yeah, missed you, dude. Humps, what about yourself?
I'm gonna be playing some video games after this with y'all. You can find me, on the Twitters, Humps _, Twitches. Now you can find me on the TikTok, where I am documenting my vasectomy journey. It'll be a fun. It'll be a fun journey for everyone. Huh?
Can you blur some of it out?
Well, I'm gonna do what I can to film the important aspects of everything. I did a little video of after my appointment, my scheduling appointment. So it's been scheduled. August 12th.
Sitting in a waiting room.
Yeah.
August 12th is the new V-Day.
You see when it's happening? Can you just be like this?
I'm gonna ask him if I can record parts of it. I want to include a lot of what I can, minus what you guys are obviously fucking thirsting for.
You're acting like we haven't seen.
Amazing. Just a little side note, there's a guy that I used to popped up on my TikTok all the time, where he had a goal that he was going to stop drinking fizzy drinks. And every day he did a little update, and it'd be like day 1 with no fizzy drinks, day 2. But this guy was just so wholesome and amazing, and he would talk about how good he felt, and when he got compliments about losing weight and stuff. So wholesome, and I loved it. And people like these TikToks just blew up because everyone just supported this dude to stop drinking fizzy drinks. It was the most wholesome thing I've ever seen. Maybe we could have the same effect with your vasectomy diaries. You know, I don't know.
I'm getting so many compliments now. Did you get snipped?
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure and go follow everybody. And Kibbles, where can we find you? What you got going on?
Yeah. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. All of those are the same, the Mighty Kibbles, except for Twitter, it's the Mighty Kibbles. And I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Sometimes on Saturdays, but they did a new work schedule, so I might be working a bunch of weekends. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Warzone after this with the boys, and on Monday, going to be trying a new game. It's not a new game, but new to me. Hunt Showdown.
It's amazing.
Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, we're going to be struggling our way through that to figure out.
Nice.
And yes, Soma's going to be on Friday, so drop by if you want to see me cry. I'm probably going to cry. I'm legitimately going to cry.
The only reason I'm tuning in.
I can't wait. Can't wait. Cool. And I'm Coneyfly. You find me Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff. Twitter has an extra Y on the end. I have just been kind of in a weird thing of between Destiny, Valorant, Warzone. I'm also streaming Warzone with the lads after we're done here today.
Feel left out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I've been playing The Last of Us 2, and I'm really enjoying that, and I can't wait to play more of that as well. More importantly, if you are listening to the podcast, if you would do us a favor and go and check out our Twitter account at Zero Strategy Pod. We post these episodes on Spotify and YouTube as well, which you can go and find if you want to catch up on previous episodes. Thank you very much for all the support on all this, on the live stream, on the videos, on the Spotify podcast syndications, all that stuff. Thank you very, very much for the support. We have a lot more planned, so the next few episodes are going to be good. You're not going to want to miss them. If you are listening on any of the audio versions, come by the stream, twitch.tv/Zero Strategy Podcast, and talk to us live. We have an awesome community of people that are all helping each other out, and it's super nice to see every week. Hamster laughing, and I feel like I'm missing a joke somewhere.
Oh,
Okay, good. Good,
You
I'm
noticed
glad.
that shit.
All right, we are going to go and raid someone. If you're watching live, stick around for that. We're all going to be on Warzone in a bit, and Cyber's going to be on Tarkov, so tune into one of those streams as well for more fun. We appreciate you, and we will see you guys next week. Take it easy.
Bye.